Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. I am Teacher Mia and today on our P3 Road to HAL, we are going to look at fraction word problem part 2. For those of you who haven't gone through my part 1, please remember to watch it. There we introduce the whole part relationship of fraction and introduce some methods to solve basic fraction word problems. Today we are going to dive deeper into this whole part relationship of fraction. So let's dive right in. And this question is a question from 2020 GGP round 2. Let's read the question. A barrel filled with a 104 of oil weighs 12 kg, and a barrel fully filled with oil weighs 24 kg. What is the weight of an empty barrel? Now, for those of you who watch my part 1 video, what should we draw here? Yes, we should draw a model to solve this question. Amazing, you still remember. So now, but then how do we draw? Now, this question we have oil's weight, okay? And other than that, we also have the barrel's weight. We have two different weights. So how should we draw? Now, to understand this, first, let's try to understand the whole part relationship of a fraction first. Okay, then we're going to look at an example. So first, let's look at a very quick example here. So Alex has a fruit stall. He has 60 fruits. What is 3 over 5 of the number of fruits here? Now, let me ask everyone, what is my whole here? Fraction is made up of part and whole. What is my whole? Now, if we see closely, 3 over 5 of the number of fruits. So how to find my whole? Let me teach everyone here. Fraction of the things right after would be my whole. So here, fraction 3 over 5 of the number of fruits, which is should be my whole. So my whole should be the number of fruits here, okay, which is 60. So, which means that I'm cutting my number of fruits into how many parts? 5 parts. So just need to draw a model to show. Then we know that the sum of this, all of this is 60, of course. Then I want how many parts of this? Very good. The question says 3 over 5, it means I want 3 parts. So I should 3 parts. And I know the sum is 60 here. So which means that 5 units is 60. How do I find 1 unit? Amazing. It's to say 60 divided by 5, which is 12. Amazing. Now, I want 3 parts here. I want 3 parts here. So how do I find 3 units? Very good. Just need to take 12 times 3. So we will get 36. Amazing. Next, we're going to look at another example. So one day, Alex sold 18 oranges, which is 3 over 4 of all the fruits. What is the total number of fruits here? Now, again, how do I find my whole here? What does this 4 represent? Is it the 18 oranges? How do I find whole again? Fraction of the things right after will be my whole. So this question is fraction of 3 over 4 of my whole. So my whole should be all the fruits. Very good. So my whole should be all the fruits, not the 18 oranges. 18 oranges should be part of my all the fruits. So I'm cutting all of my fruits into how many parts? 4 parts. Amazing. So I just need to draw 4 parts. Then 18 oranges. This oranges is how many parts? Yes, it is 3 parts here. It's 3 over 4 of all my fruits, which means that these 3 parts will be my oranges. And I know that I have 18 oranges, which means I have 3 units is 18. So how do I find 1 unit? Yes, just need to take 18 divided by 6. Very good. What do we get? 3. Amazing. First calculation. Now, the question is asking, what is the total number of fruits? Which means the question is asking for my whole here. And I know that my whole is this whole 4 units. So how do I find? Very good. Just need to take 6 times 4. And we get 24. Amazing. So let's do a very quick summary of these 2 questions that we just did. First, we know that how to find our whole. So fraction of the things right after will be my whole here. So fraction of whole. Okay? Next, if we see closely from these 2 questions, we have 60 fruits, which is my whole, and I have a fraction. Then I am able to get part of the whole. 3 over 5, a part of my whole. And here, I am given my part. This 18 oranges is part of all the fruits of my whole. Then I'm also given the fraction, but I'm not given my whole. I want to find my whole. And we see that we are able to find my whole. So we see that these 3 things, whole, part, fraction, they are actually, we know 2 of them. Here, I know whole, I know fraction, I'm able to get my part. And here, I know my part, I know my fraction, I'm able to get my whole. So this is actually a no two get one relationship here. So fraction, whole, part, fraction is a no two get one relationship. Next, we're going to look at an example that is closer to our question. A water bottle with water weighs 800 grams. When the water inside is doubled, the water bottle weighs 1,400 grams. How heavy is the empty water bottle? Now, this question we have doubled, so it is a multiple relationship. So let's try to use model to represent this. Now, of course, we also have different weights of the water bottle. One is before the water is doubled, one is after the water is doubled. So here we can draw models to represent. So these two relationships. One is before, one is after. Now for the before, first, what weights do we have? Of course, I have the weight of the water, and I also have the weight of the bottle. Very good. So first I have the weight of the bottle and then weight of the water. So I'll use this one unit here to represent the weight of the bottle since we don't know. Okay, then now when the water inside is double, does the weight of my bottle change? No, 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 it never changes. So it will still be the same bottle weight. Of course. I mean it's the same bottle, so how can the weight change? But now what happens to the water's weight? Yes, it is double. So how many units do I draw? Draw 2 units, amazing. And I know that here, this whole thing will be equals to 800. And this 3 will be equals to 1,400. So what can I find here? Yes, for those of you who said I can find difference, you are perfect. Yes, we can find this difference here to be 1,400 minus 800, which is 600. So which means that I found that 1 unit is 600. Now the question wants to find how heavy is the water bottle. So here I know that this thing is 600. How to find the water bottle? Wait. Yes, just need to take 800 minus 600. Then we get the water bottle's weight. So from this question, let's do a very quick summary. When we are comparing, you see, both of the water bottles' weight are actually the same. So here, when comparing, we need to ignore the same part. So it's just like we just remove off these two water bottles, then don't look. Then we see that we only compare between the water's weight to find the difference here. Okay? So now we are very, very ready to solve this question here. Let's try it. So now I know that here a barrel filled with 1 over 4 is weighs 12 kg and a barrel is fully filled is 24. How should I draw this model here? Now, here, just now the question is talking about a random amount of water. So we just give it a 1 unit, correct? But here, it's not random amount, it is 1 over 4 of my oil. So what is my whole here? Yes, it is the all the oil. The total oil here, okay, is whole. And now, which means that I have 1 over 4 and I have fully filled. So let's try to draw these two first, okay? Then, how to draw my 1 over 4? First, I have the weight of the barrel. Very good. And I also have the weight of the oil. So I draw the barrel first, then 1 over 4 of this oil, which means I cut the oil into how many parts? 4 parts. Very good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But is the barrel fully filled with all 4? No, it's only 1 part, which means that should I draw 4 units here? No, I should draw only 1 unit here. Very good. Okay, only draw 1 unit. Now, for the full barrel, same. Did the barrel's weight change? No, it's the same barrel. So here, same, 1 barrel. Then, fully filled, which means how many units do I draw? My whole here is represented by 4, which means that I have 4 units. Very good here. Okay, and I also know that this two is 12 kg, and this whole thing is 24 kg. So what can I find here? Yes, then we are comparing. Just need to ignore the same parts here. So what we'll get is 24 minus 12, which is 12 kg. Perfect. So now I know that 3 units is 12. So how do I find 1 unit? Very good. 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Amazing. So now I know that this part here is 4. So how do I find the weight of empty barrel? Yes. Just need to take 12 minus 4 and I get 8 kg. Done. That is all the questions here. So let's do a very, very quick summary here. First, whole, part, fraction. What relationship are they? Yes, there are no two get one. I get part fraction, I can find whole. Get whole fraction, I can find my part here. So it's a no two get one relationship. And when we are comparing, what should we do? Yes, we should ignore the same parts here. Perfect. So here we have a question for you to try, okay, for you to try and practice. So feel free to write down the answer in the comment section down below. And if you have any questions you don't know, feel free to scan this QR code and look for me. I can help you answer, okay? And here we have a QR code for our 2026 P3 study group. There will be many, many education resources as well as many activities that is going to happen for the new GP. Stay tuned, okay? So, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm taking it from Kangaroo Study, signing off right now. Goodbye, everyone.